Mirembe Kande. Welcome again to our Lulogooli class session. And today we will be looking at a word. What is a word in Lulogooli? How do we form words? And on a hint, what are the kind of words we have in Lulogooli? As a start, we will first say what a word is in Lulogooli. A word in Lulogooli is Ling'ana. A word in Lulogooli is Ling'ana. You can have the deepest meaning when somebody says, I heard a word. It's not just one word. Or rather, it could be one word, but it has a deeper meaning. So it's similar to Lulogooli. When someone says Ling'ana, does not necessarily mean a word. Sometimes it's a meaning. What is the meaning? Yes, you heard the word on the surface level, but what is the meaning? In our previous classes, we did discuss about zinduguta, singular enduguta. This is where we had things like a, we had things like ba, we had letters like wa, and all that, and said it is from zinduguta that we can visualize or we can put our language onto paper, that Lulogooli can start being written. Next, we looked at vitibuku and said that vitibuku are as a result of or are derived from zinduguta. Singular kitibuku. This is where we had syllables. Vitibuku are syllables. Kitibuku is a syllable, differentiated here. If you say vi, you mean plural. If you say ki, you mean singular. So when we were discussing about syllables, we had syllables like ba, we had syllables like za, we had syllables like ya. What next? Next is when these syllables combine to get a word. Ling'ana. Ling'ana. So it is from these syllables, it is from the vitibuku. If I am to speak in Lulogooli, ni kuturana na vitibuku. It is from the syllables that we get a word. Ling'ana. For instance, if we add two syllables, we get a word. If we had two ba, and add a ba, we will get a word called ba. That way. That is how Lulogooli gets words. And because we speak, because we are already in speaking mode, is when now we get the words from the language itself. We cannot sit down then and say, now that we have syllables, now let's create words. No. The language itself, the way the people have been expressing their feelings, their attitude, and all that gave us words, gave us Ling'ana. And we have very many words in Lulogooli, some which include the greetings. I start by saying mirembe, like me, re, mbe. This is a Lulogooli word for greetings. It has how many syllables? We have me as one, re as two, mbe, three. Mirembe. Right? And because we said that it is from the syllables that we get a word, here our word is. A class is called kirasi. It is a borrowed word. A class is called kirasi. And from here we have ki as a syllable, ra as another but elongated, and si. Even from the word itself, Ling'ana, we have syllables. Ri as one syllable, ri. Nga as a second syllable, and na as a third syllable. Some of the words in Lulogooli have single syllable, others double syllable, others triple, and going on. A word like kuakulia, we have eaten. Kuakulia, ku, a, ku, yeah, we have eaten. The syllables include ku, a, ku, yeah. It's 4. So, about words in Lulogooli and formation is when we will be discussing how these syllables come together. What is their meaning? What are their relevance in Lulogooli? So that when we put them in a word, what are we communicating to a person who is not just hearing, who is using their eyes and their brain to read a meaning? So that we look at what is the value of ku in that word? What is the value of a in that word? What is the value of the second ku? Is it similar or is it different? And then the verb, what is their value? Because this one is in a present tense. We've eaten, but just immediately. What about if any of them changes? For instance, we miss a. Ku, ku, ria. Spoken as kukuria. How is that word different from this? And that's the fun with Lulogooli, that where something is or isn't is how we derive meaning in writing. Because speech is already there, and it is us trying to make speech be studied enough to give us a wider meaning or a more knowledge approach of this beautiful language of Lulogooli. Another word for us to finish this is ntura. Ntura. I'm getting out. Because we have that represents me, Tura is get out that has two syllables, tu and ra. This is for present. So we'll get a time and change it even to later on, to future, nture. We have a changed element, an e. It was ntura, ra. Now it's re. How did that happen? And importantly, how is all these similar or different with the speech as it is in Lulogooli? Because when you meet Lulogooli, or rather when you hear them speak, you might not hear them say ntura. You might not hear them say nture, I go. You might hear them say, or you will hear them say, and this for sure, ndura. That's what they say. I'm getting out. Or ndure. I'll get out, or I should get out. How is that different from this? And how, or rather, what is the effect of us writing how we speak vis-a-vis how grammar should flow, so that the reader does not at any point see a vague sentence. So join us in our next lesson as we will be discussing the different types of words in Lulogooli.